and this is Rich. And today what we're going to do is we're going to make the Lazy Man cookies. And they're going to be delicious and you'll really like it. Let me give you a little bit of background. My brother here, Rich, suffered a stroke back in September, and it left him with paralysis on his left side. So much so that he had to drink water with the sponge. That's not fun.
That was fun. That was really fun.
But now, look at him. He's back and he's getting ready to hobby up and show us different things that we can do. They're not very difficult, but fun. And this one will be tasty too. So we hope you enjoy.
The basics of this is that I like to do things, always have, so it works for me. That's shortcut central, but not sacrificing quality. So my grandmother would kill both of us because we're going to do a mix for matcha cookies. Or matcha is a green tea, if you didn't know. And it's with the sugar cookie. They turn out very, very nice, especially with like a kind of a nutty flavor with it. I definitely need my sister's hands because, as she mentioned, I do have a little difficulties, which is really kind of what the whole premises of the show is. I like to do hobbies, things like that, to keep me out of depression. So instead of looking down, I want to hobby up and hopefully come up with some interesting things that you'd like to do too. Maybe next show will be brewing some beer.
That's what I'm talking about.
5 gallons at a time. How many bottles that is, I'm not sure, but it takes about a half a day. You'll like it.
You can carry it around in your gallon
Especially
bucket.
because it'll be condensed in 5 minutes or 20 minutes. So, Lorie, if you wouldn't mind giving that a rip. Why don't we get the butter and the egg set. The eggs have been out for a little while because you want them at room temperature. And the same thing with the butter. The butter is still a little bit cold. Today was about 900 degrees below zero. There was a school back behind us, and one of the kids was out there on the playground screaming, "What did I do? Let me in. It's freezing out here. What did I do wrong?" And I was thinking to myself, exactly. But, so she's got a trick where they use the
mandolin
grater. Apparently that makes it so the butter can come to temperature easier because it is getting sliced into smaller sizes.
Unless you wanted to take the time to let the butter soften, you could do that too. But this is just an easy way.
Or nuke it for a few seconds, whatever it is.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this mandolin, and I'm going to shave the butter.
I'm going to make sure we're at 370 for the stove.
And we do have softened butter, by the way. But this is kind of a nice way to do it.
It's so clever. Kind of. How do you clean that thing, though? That goes against all lazy rules.
I let him clean it. That's how I clean it.
Hot water, boiling water.
He cleans it. Okay? So anyway, that's just a little trick we wanted to show you. So if you don't have the butter melted and softened, no worries. You can still go ahead and cook the cookies when you want to by using this easy mandolin technique.
It doesn't seem that easy to me. The microwave seems easier.
Looks like cheese.
Having somebody else do it makes it really easy, though. I like it a lot. I'm not going to say anything before that stops. I like that tradition. It's a good one.
It's okay. He's my little brother. I've been doing things for a long time.
Oh my gosh. If you have been in the same situation of like myself or some of you know, then you kind of totally get it that it's nice to have someone that can help you do things, that's for sure. Especially the last few months.
Don't let anything stop you from your happiness. Be part of your own little garden and grow your own happiness.
Oh, you're in your own little garden, all right.
I'm in the garden of shaving butter.
I like baking so far. This is great. What's next?
Making beer.
Yeah. Listen to me. Yeah.
Okay, so we're almost done shaving the butter.
I want to be able to hit on different hobbies, not just cooking things. I mean, we may be doing ice fishing one day. We might go pick up some 4x4 remote control little cars and have a good time with that. Whatever it may be. Just don't sit back and say, oh man, this sucks. Because I'm the type of person that I need a win every now and then, even if the win is insulting my sister by beating her with anything.
It's a competition constantly.
It helps you go.
Okay, so I'm just going to take this spatula and I'm going to wipe off the rest of the butter from the mandolin.
I'm going to put that in the sink, or?
And
That's
we
the only
are
thing
going
I'm
to
gonna do
put
for
that
you.
in the sink. Okay, Rich is going to do that.
Really, the show should have been called I'm the Chef, but she's doing the work.
So this is what the butter looks like when it's all mandolined and shaved. And so like I was telling you, don't let time and melting butter or softening butter ruin your day from actually doing what you want to. It's easy to go ahead and go forward. Okay, Rich, what do we do next?
You gotta mix the eggs with it.
All right, here we go. By the way, the eggs have been brought up to room temperature as well.
And I'm not sure if she mentioned this during this part, but we've said this a million times, is that when this is all mixed together, you gotta let it chill. So you gotta refrigerate it or freeze it just for a minute or two. And the reason is because apparently there's an enzyme that gets activated, and you want it to be able to go through the dough so that it'll brown up nicely, caramelize better.
Okay, we need the other bag too.
No, you don't.
Okay, this is a faux pas of butter. You have too much right now. So I'll just take out the other half.
You're supposed to use a half a cup. So 1 full stick. Was that 1 full stick?
Plus another.
Oh, look at that. I can do the math. So you had 2 full sticks in there. I get it.
2 is more fun than 1.
Not when it's with your sister.
But it's okay. We got this. So we're going to take a beater and we're going to mix together
This is a beater.
the eggs and the butter together.
Yeah, let me give it a whirl. And this is supposed to be a little more. I mean, why am I asking you? Yeah, it's got to be a little more liquid than that. It's still kind of chunky like cheese in there.
What we're doing is called creaming the butter.
You know, this is making me even more of an advocate that when other people do things, it's so much nicer. But the reward at the end when you actually do it yourself, that's a lot different. That's the part. That's where you get a win. I like to have those wins. Now we're going to add a little extra to this, like I was saying, to make it a little bit different of a recipe than just straight from the bag. Like I said, my grandmother would kill me. But I look at it this way. It's the same materials, and it's already pre-mixed as far as like measured correctly, something that I may have troubles with doing.
We are going to change it just a little bit so you don't end up with cookie blobs. We're going to add a little bit of extra flour because these mixes tend to let the cookie dough spread during cooking.
Yeah, these type they're like a drop cookie versus a firm type of cookie, which I might like better too. I don't know.
We will be finishing the dough by actually getting in there and using our hands. So we'll go ahead and we're going to pour the dry mixture in. I'm just going to set this over here, and we're going to let Rich give it a spin. And here's a wooden spoon to help mix it if you like. But we're also, like I said, going to add a little bit of extra flour so that we don't make cookie blobs, and that's about 3 tablespoons.
Yeah, not a whole lot. If you think about it, if it's that sensitive, how could I possibly not screw this up?
He could screw it up. But he won't, because he's a very good cook.
Going to be lunchtime, so I'm getting hungry, so I'm probably going to be dipping into this soon. Oh, don't do that, because it's got raw eggs. And they just had a recall from Costco where these came from, so we'll make sure we cook them.
It's not fun to have recalls. There's a lot of recalls these days at the FDA site. If you're curious
just cook
about
things
what
through,
that
call
are,
it a day.
what those are, then you can go ahead and contact the FDA site online, Google it, and you'll see all the recalls. You'll never have to be behind.
You know, normally at home, I'd already spilled this all over the floor, and she'd have had to clean it up, and we had
That's
to
right.
restart. So this is kind of interesting. It's a new, fresh way to do things.
He's actually not making too big of a mess.
I'm actually folding it like I was taught to do, but
I never even knew you knew what folding was.
only with my clothes, really. I don't know how to do that.
You're getting better. Here, wait, maybe we try a wooden spoon. It won't be so bendable. Here you go.
I don't know. I like the pliability better. I'm excited to make beer, though.
Yeah, beer is fun. You can make it in a 5-gallon bucket. Then you can carry it around and put a straw in there or a siphon.
Only thing with beer that you kind of got to watch out for, it's not that a big a deal to make. It's just that you need to try to keep it cool, try to keep it in the dark. It can sit for about 2 days, 3 days to 2 weeks or more. And then you have a product just depending on what you want. You want what type of beer.
Okay, I know you see that we haven't added matcha, but what we're going to do is add it a little bit after we separate the dough. So we'll have both regular cream-colored sugar cookies, and we'll have matcha green-colored sugar cookies. And you'll see what kind of fancy little thing we're going to try to do.
If you have guests come over and they see these green cookies, I'm not sure when this is going to air. It might be just about the perfect time for
Okay,
the Irish to come out.
so you can see how the dough is kind of holding itself together quite well. It's not crumbling apart. Now we probably want to get in there with your hands.
Let me get in there.
And finish up.
This is what
So
I've been waiting
we'll
for.
let him do that.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's like Play-Doh.
And
I
it's
love
actually
it.
very good for physical therapy because he had some problems with his left hand being weak.
That's
and,
why I'm using my right. Oh, yeah.
and this will actually help with all those things. So use your other hand too.
It's like having mud go through my toes.
Rich, use your other
like
hand too.
Nah, I'm liking this a lot. Feels weird because of the sugar granules in there. It's like sand.
Yeah, but it's holding together really nicely, and we can thank that to the somewhat softened butter.
The Sue chef who did a good job, but her name's not Sue.
Okay, so we don't want to overwork the dough actually because it becomes too hard in the baking. So we want to put it into a nice ball.
It all comes down to nice balls. What are you laughing at?
What would you do?
And there it is, a nice ball.
We'll just kind of, let's finish it up. So we're going to
All
let
right, I'm going to rinse my
Rich
hands.
rinse his hands while I finish making the dough ball. And by doing that, I'm just trying to pick up all the extra little particles that are in there and making sure that everything is mixed into each other. We have a homogeneous dough. And there we are. That doesn't look bad, right? Looks pretty good.
I want to assure everybody that I obviously washed my hands before doing this. Did you?
Yes?
Oh, good. Not just after.
No. We don't want to spread germs. There it is. Kind of a lovely dough ball there. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break and I'm going to clean up and we're going to get started with rolling the dough out and cutting them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Orion Neighborhood Television is your community media outlet. Our mission is to empower community members and groups to create, communicate, and connect through television and video production. For more than 35 years, ONTV has offered video production classes to residents of all ages and provides them with the equipment and facilities to produce their own programs. Not only are residents encouraged to produce programs, but ONTV staff produces programs that promote local nonprofits and community groups like the Chamber of Commerce, the Orion Township Public Library, and the Lake Orion Lions Club, to name a few. The staff ventures out into the community to cover events like parades, festivals, concerts, and high school sports. ONTV has provided the equipment and staffing to televise township and village meetings live and has provided the video equipment that Lake Orion High School students use as they prepare for a career in broadcasting. ONTV's podcast studio and training give producers an opportunity to educate and entertain listeners. To sign up for classes or for more information, call 248-393-1060 or visit orionontv.org.
Okay, we're back.
Hello.
So these cookies are ready, maybe even over ready. You know, I'll blame the sous chef for that, because you can't blame me. I'm just the guy telling what to do. All right, so maybe take a look at that. They turned
look
out
at
nice.
those.
They're slightly overdone. You want it to be a little less brown on the edges. That's how I kind of check. If they're a little more brown on the edges, that's how you want it.
They smell good.
They smell really good.
Yeah, they're a little too brown maybe, huh? Okay,
That's okay. They're not burnt. That's the important
let's
part.
take a look on the bottom. Oh yeah, they're not burned at all.
Parchment
Normally
paper
I
saved
would
our
have
butt on
burned
that.
them, just so you know.
Yeah.
For your own benefit, at least they're not burned. Okay, let's take them over to our table here and
All right.
let's
In
let
the
'em
meantime,
cool.
I'm gonna let the watchers suffer from another not handicapped story, because I don't like that whole disability thing. Hey, disability. Yeah, shut up. Maybe I gotta do things a little lazier, a little bit easier, but I hate the whole disability thing. Not disabled.
I've had my own accidents too. I had my face broken a few years back from the top of my head down to the bottom of my jaw,
Explains a lot.
and closed head injury and ruptured discs on my spine. But then I went on to go to Harvard and graduate with A's, so I can't complain about that, right? So
And I have the girl from Harvard making me cookies. So
there we go.
winner.
Not saying everybody's got to do things like this.
Let them cool off a little bit.
Well, I was going to let them cool off in there.
No, see, I don't know if you can see this pretty bowl. Do I need to take you to the other camera? No, there's the camera right there.
Yeah.
All right, but my grandmother used to always say that if it's in a pretty bowl, it's got to taste good. So there it is, pretty bowl. So no matter what we did, it's tasting good. Thanks, Grandma. This bowl is actually a little history. I got it from a garage sale for $2. Turns out it's a $200 bowl from 1790. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Okay, so I don't know about you, but I like to eat hot cookies. So I kind of want to eat them now.
Okay, dig in, and we're going to judge by the look on your face on what they are.
Okay, so I'm going to kind of cut it in half here. Maybe a quarter. I'm going to give part of it to Rich here. And I'm going to take part. They smell so delicious.
It reminds me of the time when I got out of the hospital after being in coma for a month. Lost a lot of weight, and we were going to get x-rays or something like that done at one of the professional buildings. But the professional building was one of those things that had like a restaurant and this and all that going on. There was a bunch of construction guys up there, and I was telling my sister, hey, get your video camera ready, because I'm not going to walk up there like a gimp. I'm going to not have my cane, nothing like that. I got this. Well, unfortunately for her, she missed the whole show because
I did.
my pants were really loose. I'm wearing a catheter. I step out of the car. All the guys are kind of like looking like, and not, you know, I don't care, whatever. But down the pants go. If she'd have had the camera ready, that would have been the classic moment, you know? So she missed it. It was hilarious.
Whatever you want to do, don't hold back. Give it a try. Do it the lazy man's way, kind of like we did.
Oh, good. Harvey up, too.
See you soon.
Oh, good.